Hey everybody, welcome to Friendship Shaving. It's good to be here. Even though I don't need much of a shave tonight, I'm just going to be tidying myself up a little bit. I recorded a video last night and sometimes when I record a video I have the feeling that I could just do a bit better and that it wasn't quite good enough. So that's why I'm here again this evening. So with that in mind, welcome to Friendship Shaving, and I'm going to be using a razor I haven't used for quite a long time. It is my Philippe Grande, a beautifully weighted razor. I've got a new soap to try tonight as well. It is the Cold River Soapworks Select Shaving Soap. It is a tallow and lanolin soap with kokum and shea butter, and this soap smells amazing. It's got sweet orange, grapefruit and lemon, and it's quite zesty, but it's got a real sweetness behind it, and to me it smells a little bit sherbety. And I have Mike H to thank for this soap. Mike is from Brooklyn, New York, a keen contributor to the comments section, and Mike was kind enough to send me some Voskhod razor blades. I mentioned one day that I was down to my last one, and Mike has been kind enough to send me 40 of them, and I will be using one this evening. And Mike popped in a duplicate soap that he had, so I'm really pleased to get this. The question I'm going to be asking tonight is, do you bloom your soap? Now, many of you will know that normally I do, but this is a soap where the manufacturers recommend that you load your brush from a dry puck, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go to the dark side. So I've got my Ever Ready 2-band badger, and I'm just going to squeeze it and give it 2 quick shakes. And I'm going to take that to the dry pack. Let me show you the soap a little bit more. It is a soft soap. Oh, it smells stunning, but it's certainly not like a Mitchell's Woolfat or one of those hard triple milled soaps. So the recommendation is 30 or 40 seconds with a damp brush on the dry soap. So we're going to try that tonight. And no doubt I'm going to lose track of time while I'm talking. I've been thinking about this a lot this week. I watched a video by Johnny Johansson, and it really made me question my preference for putting water on top of the soap before I load it. I know that a lot of you guys don't do that, so I thought I'd just give it a go and see what it's like. Now, do you think that's 30 seconds? I really don't know. I haven't been watching. It is entirely new to me. I've got that much soap on the brush. I think that's about 30 seconds, but I'm really not certain. So, of course, it's not entirely dry because the brush is damp. So there is going to be a little bit of moisture still on the puck. So, like all of my soaps when I use them, I'll leave the top off that and just leave it for a few hours to make sure it's dry. Normally when I put water on the top of a puck, after I've drained it all off and I've finished shaving, I leave it on the windowsill overnight to make sure it's entirely dry. Now I've got some Proraso White pre-shave on today. I've just wet my face, and they recommend that you brush it on before adding any water, obviously. Now I would imagine that because you're going from essentially dry soap, because you're starting from that, I would imagine that it would take more moisture to be able to build a lather. Now I know that Chris, from Another Cut Above, is one of these chaps that always loads from a dry pack, and he has said, I've heard him say, if the soap's not good enough to load from a dry pack, it's not good enough. So it'll be interesting to try this out. So I'm adding some moisture now. I'm just dipping my brush in a little bowl I've got on the top of my sink. And I'm just going to keep working that for a little bit because I'm waiting for the soap to soften on the brush and the brush just to be ready to splay. We're nearly there, not quite. A drop more water. I'm being quite careful not to add too much water because I've never done it this way before. Now I believe, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but I have the idea that when I add water to the top of a pucker soap and balloon the soap, because I use warm water to do that, it brings some of the scent out on the soap. And certainly for me, when I smell the dry puck and then I wet it and I smell the soap afterwards when it's wet, it does smell different. Now whether that's just due to the moisture or, well, I don't know why it is, but that scent that I got off that puck, that kind of lemony, sherbety scent, is definitely still present and very nice in the soap now. And I can see that I've got a really thick lather, and I'm going to add a little drop more water to this. Do you know, I'm almost going to be going by feel tonight because I haven't got my glasses on. They're still in the they're still in the other room, and I really can't see very well in the screen of my iPad mini. But if I look this way, I've got a big mirror and I can see much better at distance. So I may be forced just to turn away from you a little bit this evening. Oh, do you know what? This is lovely soap. really lovely. So you can see I've got absolutely tons of soap on my brush. And I think, I wouldn't swear to it, but I think that's the first time I've ever loaded my brush from a dry puck. Now I'm chuffed to bits that I've got the Voskhod. I'm so pleased that I wrote to the company. I had a question to ask them. On one of my other videos I said that they were carbon blades, carbon steel blades. Now I've read that in a few places, but they don't go off and rust like a carbon steel blade. And it was pointed out to me today in one of the comments on my older video. And well, I couldn't find out, so I thought I'd write to them about it and ask them, and see if they'll send me some information about the Voskhod blades, which will see if I get a reply. Do you know, I do like this little method of pushing the razor up on your nose just a little bit, not being rough. Just to get that bit under there. I think that's a really good technique from Randy, the Polar Shaver. You know, you pick up these little things along the way and they all just add to your shave. I don't know if you've ever used a Fatigué Grande before, but they're a nice razor. Now I'm going careful here. I'll tell you why in a minute. Now I feel that my soap or my lather is just as moist as it always is when I bloom my soap. Trying something a little bit different here, because this way, for me, let me clean it off. This way here is with the grain, just on that little bit there. There we are, that's the first pass. And I'm very pleased with that actually, so it just goes to show you that whichever way you choose to shave, There's no right or wrong, it's just your way. But it seems that this way works just as well as blooming your soap. You may have to play around with the amount of time that you load the brush for, but I am quite pleased with that. I feel that was quite successful so far. Actually, this is a lovely lather. I can't see it when I'm looking that way. It's just white. But when I can look in the big mirror, it's really nice. It's not as thick, obviously, for the second pass. So the next time I shave, I'll have a choice to make, won't I? Either I can bloom the soap, or I can load from a dry puck. I've got the choice. Have you ever thought that blooming your soap, that's the most ridiculous description for putting a drop of water on the top of your puck and leaving it for 5 minutes? Now, I should say while we're talking about this that I have never ever had a problem with my soap going mouldy because it's been wet, or my soap turning rancid, and I have had some people ask me about that, and I just don't think that happens. This is my little bar of lavender hand soap. And of course you use it like any bar of soap. You use it and you leave it out to dry, and that's what I do with my soap, as I've already said. So by the time I put the lid on, it's entirely dry. The heck? Do you know, all the time that I've shaved, that there just felt and sounded very different. Actually, it feels like there's not a blade in there, but honestly there is. And I'm getting a close shave. I tell you, that was a bit strange. Now, some soap makers, I was talking about mould. Some of the bigger manufacturers do put something in the soap to inhibit mould, and one of the products is tetrasodium EDTA. Now that apparently really helps the soap in a hard water area, but it also acts as an inhibitor, and there's also a product called methyl isothiazolinone. So if you see that in a soap as well, that is also a mould inhibitor, but typically the soaps I like to use don't tend to have those products in them, and I've never ever had a problem. I must say that I don't think the quality of the soap is affected, or the scent of the soap is affected, by putting a little bit of water on the top. But that is just my own opinion, you know. I've certainly not noticed it. Because I'm only putting a drop of water on the very top of my soap, and I'm not leaving it overnight or anything like that, but undoubtedly you will have your own ideas about that. Oh, I've got to be careful here. The reason I had to be careful there, let me move that brush out of the way, was the last time I shaved with a feather carbon steel blade. I'll show you the box now, or the packet rather. Now, I was very excited to get these razor blades because they were by Feather, and I've not heard of a carbon steel blade by them before. Here's a packet. They are a completely black blade. They are jet black. Let me just show you the back of the packet. He says, I don't know why I'm looking at it, I can't read it. Hopefully that is the right way up. Now, I once shaved with a really old vintage Gillette blue blade, again a carbon steel blade, and what I found with the Gillette is that it was pretty good going with the grain, but as soon as I went against the grain, oh, it was rough. And that's what I found with these Feather blades. I don't know if they are a new blade or whether these are actually vintage blades, but I'd not come across them before. I thought they would be fantastic, and certainly with the grain they were really pretty nice, but as soon as I went across the grain and against the grain, they shredded me. It was most uncomfortable, and they've really got me there. I've had to put antiseptic cream on. But presumably there are people out there using these things. Now, because I've used this beautiful soap tonight, we don't get it a lot over in the UK, and it's a real shame, but the Cold River Soap Works, that is a really, really nice soap. And I know they do another version called Glide, which has got extra slickness. I'll bet that's a good soap as well, but I love that one. So, Mike H, thank you very much, my friend. Really, thank you. Now, to go with that lemony scent, I'm going to use my Lucky Tiger. And this is another one. I properly love this. And now I've got like a lemony set. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. I've had a good shave. I'm a little bit sore in these areas and these areas. I don't think going with the grain on that part of my neck made any difference, to be honest. But there we are, that's my shave for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it, and maybe it raises a few questions about how you load your brush. I'd love to read your comments on this. I'm sure it's a debate that goes round and round the houses in the wet shaving world. Whichever way you choose, enjoy your shave. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very shortly for another shave. All the very best now. Bye bye.